Hi, this is Stafford here again. I do these videos because I think it's important to talk about issues in our society, as well as political things and things that are going on around the world, and things that have gone on in the past, and what the future is going to look like. So today, I'm just going to talk a little bit about. I posted a video recently about American politics and about the flaws of American politics and the two-party system, and how the two-party system has failed to produce any good results for quite some time now. And they're so desperate that they are grasping at straws. And when I say they, of course, I mean the Democrats and the Republicans, because I don't differentiate. I don't think that any one is any better than the other. There is no lesser of two evils here. They are, in essence, two groups of people that want the same thing. They both want money and power, and they use the hearts and minds of the American people to try to make sure that one or the other wins so that they can achieve that goal of having money and power. They don't care about us. They don't care about us one bit. I'm not to say that all Republicans and Democrats are this way, but the vast overwhelming majority of them do not care how poor Americans are going to survive. The vast majority do not care about the issues that they talk about with such vigor. That's all a show. They're good actors, but they don't really care. If you notice, none of this stuff actually ever gets done. Barack Obama, for instance, very, very intelligent person. If Obamacare, well, if Obama had wanted Obamacare to work, he could have made it work. He was a very smart man, and regardless of anything else, he could have made it happen. But that really wasn't what he was after. He was after money, power, and fame, the same as um, Donald Trump with his supposedly historic peace deal in the Middle East between the United Arab Emirates and Israel. Well, that's not historic at all, because all that means is now the Palestinian people are now tragically going to be even more isolated from any kind of help. And I'm sure that it says somewhere in that peace deal that one contingent of it, I'm sure, is that the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, can not provide the Palestinian cause with any kind of assistance. As a matter of fact, here in America, they're making it so that it is illegal to boycott buying Israeli goods. Now, I may seem like I really, really dislike Israel, and that's not really the truth. The truth is that I dislike unfairness and injustice, and I have no problem with the state of Israel existing. However, I think that it should at the very least be changed back to the pre 1967 borders, and that Palestine should be a sovereign nation, and that the lands that were seized and that have not been returned to surrounding countries in the 67 war should be given to the Palestinians, as well as the West Bank and Gaza. And Jerusalem should be, as I said in one of my other videos, a religiously governed city that's equally governed by Muslims, Christians, and Jews, all with equal representation on some sort of a panel. Now, Donald Trump did not do anything historic. Doing something like that would be historic. Um, Getting both sides to sit down and talk about a two-state solution would have been historic, but simply isolating the Palestinians from any help from one of their neighbors is not historic at all. It's exactly what they all want. Make America great again. I will admit America has gotten pretty shabby compared to its former self. However, I've seen nothing to indicate that Donald Trump has done anything to make America better, and I see no indication that Joe Biden is going to do anything to make America better. This is why we need a new political party. Now, race and gender. These are the Democrats' favorite ways to divide us because both sides use forms of divide and conquer. It's as old as time. It's one of the oldest tricks in the book. And both the Democrats and the Republicans are strong believers in this. Divide and conquer. And they divide us by race, they divide us by gender, socioeconomic status, when the only one that really matters is socioeconomic status. Because white people in this country who are poor live in the same bad conditions as black people in this country that are poor. If you really want to see horrible poverty, go to an Indian reservation. It's poor people are always going to be targeted for being divided by both the Democrats and Republicans, because what the Democrats and Republicans are most afraid of is the poor people who are now growing ever more numerous, finally waking up and realizing, wait a minute, this is not about race, this is not about gender, because we're all in the same boat. The last thing that they would ever want is unity, because unity is the biggest threat of all to them getting richer and more powerful and them continuing to keep the rest of us poor. So don't buy into it, don't fall for it. It's not about race, it's not about gender. And the Democrats did not care about George Floyd. They don't care about what happened to George Floyd, tragically murdered by that evil Derek Chauvin. And the top Democrats who pretended to care so much did not care one bit. However, they jumped on that as a easy way to get votes. And the Republicans just continue to overtly oppress, but it's not necessarily along racial lines. It's on socioeconomic lines. It's oppression of the poor. It's making more and more poor people. If you can turn more middle class people into more poor people, then that's more money for the people at the top. And that is what they are concerned about. So don't fall for it, people. Really think about it. The black community, I mean, come on. We are all one community. It doesn't matter if you're black or white or what color you are. We are all one community. Well, I guess that's not true. There's two communities in this country. There's the wealthy community, the moneyed community, and there is the rest of us. And the rest of us are all races, all genders, all religions. We are across the board, but we all have one thing in common. We are all one community. We're Americans and we are oppressed. And until we realize that we are all being oppressed and stop focusing on these distractions that they throw in our way that are, based on race or this or that, if they can keep us fighting along racial lines and if they can keep us pitted, black against white, white against black, then they can continue to take advantage of all of us because we're too busy fighting each other. So what we really need to do is we need to unify as a country. We need to form a political party that serves the interests of the people of the United States and the interests of good people across the world. And we need to move away from this two-party system. We need to continue our democracy, but we need to return it to a true democracy. A true democracy does not only have two parties. A true democracy is open-minded enough to allow freedom of thought, and freedom of thought fosters ideas, and ideas lead to, organizations of like-minded people coming together with their common talents that complement each other to form organizations and parties and other things that will better the lives of other people. And that's really what the focus should be. How can we make the world a better place? How can we make America better? And also, what can we do to help other countries across the world that ask for our help? And how do we take care of the people in Iraq or Afghanistan and get them back on their feet, because we owe that to them after all the years of war. We owe that to them. Anyway, I just felt compelled to say that, and I hope everybody has a great day. And if you have any comments, feel free to leave them in the comments section area. And if you have any ideas for what a new political party could look like that is based on freedom and keeping and preserving our rights and just cutting the crap and doing the right thing, if you have any ideas as to how this could work, please leave a comment. Thank you. Have a nice day.